Hey, Callie, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I'm excited for our first episode here of the podcast, Let's Talk Real. I'm Ismaili, Realtor Mentor, VXP Realty, and also the team leader of the Ismaili Domiciano team. And here's my partner, Callie. Callie.
Good morning. I am a mortgage loan originator with Sierra Pacific Mortgage. I've been in the business for 20 years with mortgages and real estate, and most recently with Sierra for the past 2. And I'm excited for this morning to kind of go over our topics and what the market's saying right now with lending.
Yes. So just to get started, I'll get started with a little summary of the market update for you guys. Starting with Cumberland County, I made some notes here. So we have currently this month 1.5 months of accumulated market, which means we have enough inventory for 1.5 months for people that don't understand that. And in comparison to last month, that's an increase. Last month we had only 1.1, which shows that we're having more houses in the market, which is good news for the buyers. It shows a trend of going into a buyer's market. Last year's, just in comparison, we only had 0.8. So it really shows last year we definitely had a really strong seller's market. Houses were, not enough for the current month. So the current average days on price for Cumberland County, it's 19 days, which is a huge increase when we were seeing just about 3 to 5 days on market. Now we're looking at 19 days on market for Cumberland County, really showing that change in the market. Now houses are not selling as fast as before. The average price sold in Cumberland County is $322,000. We have 280 properties that were listed back in October, and from those 280, 258 went under contract. And this month so far, we listed 196 listings, and from those, 127 went under contract. So it does show that kind of 1.5 that we were seeing. Last year, just to have an idea, for the month of November, we actually sold 290 houses. So we're not necessarily halfway there, considering that we are already at November 18th as of today. So you can see the trend is kind of slowing down as far as how many houses are going under. Now, same thing for Dauphin County. We have 1.5 months of, actually 1.3 months of accumulated market. Last month we had 1.2, so we have a little bit of overplus, but not much. And comparison to last year's 0.9, again, same trend. We're seeing more houses staying in the market month over month. Average days on market for Dauphin County is 18 days, so very close to Cumberland County. Average sold price is $247,500. In October we listed 334 properties, and from those 334, 300 went under contract. This month so far we have 207 new listings, and from those 145 went under contract. So it does kind of show we're nearing the end of the month, and we don't have all the 207 that went, as a new listing going under contract. In comparison to last year, we had 335 houses that went under contract in November. So at 145, we're really not keeping that pace. Again, showing that trend. Same thing as Cumberland County. Lancaster County, we have 1.1 months of accumulated inventory. So it looks like Cumberland County is still seller's market overall. That just shows that we don't have that many houses in the market, and they are selling as they come on market. The average days on market, though, is 21 days now for Lancaster County, which shows a trend that accumulation might increase in the next couple of months. The average price sold for Lancaster County is $345,900. In October, we had 463 houses listed, and from those, 443 went under contract in October. So again, they are selling as they are coming alive. This month so far, we had 292 new listings, and from those, 168 already went under contract in November, which shows a keeping up the pace with last year's of 427 total under contract in November. So that's what I have. So what do you think about that, Kelly? Do you think what is it? Is it good news for the sellers or for the buyers?
Well, it's a good news for the buyers because they're on the market longer, which is definitely a help. And obviously the trend has a lot to do with interest rates.
Yes.
They went up so high so quickly, and they're really not high. This is actually kind of a normal interest rate market. It's just that I was quoting people 3% at the beginning of the year, and now we're quoting 7%, and that's a huge jump in a year. And
we definitely got spoiled with the 3%, right?
We did. So if you look over time, interest rates are still good. They're still lower than what they were many years ago, when our parents bought a house at, 15, 16%. And where the rates are going to go, they're probably still going to go up a little bit. We don't know, obviously, because we can't predict it, but it is what it is. Rates they're not bad, but they're higher than what they were. So to counteract that, what I'd like to talk about is our buy down options. Okay. And we have 3. We have a 2-1, a 1-1, and a 1-0 or 1-0 buy down. And I want to go over the most popular, which is our 2-1. And with the 2-1, the example I'm going to give is with a purchase price of $600,000 or loan amount of $600,000 over 30 years. In the first year, if your interest rate is 6.75, in the first year, your interest rate will be 4.75. So it goes down 2 points. And then in the second year, the interest rate is 5.75. And in that first year, you have $761.71 of monthly savings. And then in the second year, you have $390.15 a month in savings, which totals $13,822.27. And that's how we determine what the buy down amount is. So that $13,000 is the amount of the buy down. So it's all calculated in a formula. But when it comes, the benefit to sellers is we would look at it as seller assist. And then they would pay for that whole amount of seller assist. And the benefits are it attracts new and old listings for people. Yeah. The sellers don't have to change. A lot of times when we do seller assist, we tend to lower it to get seller assist. But in this case, the seller can give some assistance, keep the purchase price the same, but it also benefits the buyer in buying the house with doing the buy down rate. The buyer is always pre-approved at the note rate, but they have that lower interest, the lower payment for the first and second years, which gives them a little bit more power to do things to the homes that they're moving into. Another benefit is the seller concession. Like I said, it lowers the amount, but it gives more options for the homes being on the market. And like I said, we are looking at it more of like a seller assist because it benefits both the buyer and the seller. Yeah. And
so I think the key thing is really like the buyers to understand that yes, you will be reducing your rate in a term of like 2 years, but at the same time you do have to pay it up front. So it makes more sense if you're able to negotiate that with the seller, but maybe won't make so much sense if you are not able to get that to happen, right? So you have to really look at a case by case, buyer to buyer, to see if that would be beneficial to them or not. And that monthly payment too, like how much reduction you see, would that be significant and enough for you to rather pay up front or, during the term?
Yes. And the other thing I'm telling people is most homeowners, the average homeowner refinances within the first 3 to 5 years of living in their home. Yeah. So with the 2-1 buy down, they have that savings over the first 2 years of living in their house. And then, when the market levels out, they may only have to be up at that note rate for maybe another year. And then, when it comes to the interest rates going down, which we will have another refi boom. It's bound to happen with the way the market is. History shows that it'll happen. It'll be time for them to refinance, and maybe they'll have equity, or or just to get that lower payment, have a lower term on the loan. But the big thing is going to be getting the lower interest rates. But the refi boom will happen, and the 2-1 buy down that's the reason why it's the most popular, because probably within the next 2 to 3 years they'll be looking to refinance into a lower interest rate.
And from what I was looking, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, we are probably expecting this kind of rate to come down within 2 years from now. I think it was like 18 months or something like that, right?
Yep, we're predicting.
Yeah. We don't have a crystal ball, but there's definitely studies.
We're thinking about 18 months, give or take, that we'll see the market start to level out, and you may notice interest rates start to go down before the market actually completely levels out. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We can only
make any promise, right? Just a disclosure. We're just talking and estimating here based on what we see in the market, but there is that tendencies that showing that the interest rates are going to be dropping probably around the 18 to 24 month mark from now. So the 2-1 buy down, that's why it's the most popular, is because it's that 2 year that we're waiting for those rates to drop down. And as soon as you're out of the 2-1, you can refinance. And you are allowed to refinance, no problem, even before that, right, Kelly?
Correct.
There's no penalty.
There's no prepayment penalties you need to worry about. So yes, you can absolutely refinance. Everybody has a different reason for refinancing, whether it's interest rates, equity, getting cash out to do improvements on their house. There's a lot of reasons, but we will only do it if it makes sense for you. Everybody's situation is different.
And one thing that's important to remind the buyers too that out there considering these options, that when they are opting into the 2-1 buy down or 3-2-1 or 1-0, they're still being qualified on the highest rate that they're supposed to be in, regardless of whether they're starting a little bit lower. So that's something to keep in mind too, because in case it does not make sense, right? Let's say you don't get the seller to pay that amount, and maybe it doesn't make sense for you financially to invest that money in the buy down. Just keep in mind that it doesn't change your qualification or approval amount. You're still being qualified on that higher rate regardless.
Yes, absolutely. Because we have to make sure you can make those payments when the time comes. So, but yes, you're absolutely correct. The borrower must be pre-approved at the note rate. And if the buy down doesn't make sense, we offer many other programs that can help, depending on the location of where you're living. So there's definite options, but everybody's always pre-approved at that amount, because if the buy down doesn't make sense, then that's the interest rate you're going to be paying if we put you into a different product. So, and the buy down does go along with almost all of the products that we offer. So, with the exception of a few government, I don't have those exact details, but they do go along with almost all of our products.
So just to clarify, the products that she's mentioning would be like conventional loan, a VA loan. Do you know if that would go along?
I don't think the VAs are part of it, but I don't know for sure. I don't want to say yay or nay.
If anybody has a question on that one, just let us know on the side and we can clarify.
And I can definitely get those details. I didn't bring up all of them just because I wanted to focus on the example so people could see the savings.
So do you want to go over the example now and show us a little bit more?
So pretty much it was the $600,000 loan amount, the one that I reviewed at the 6.75, and those savings, $761.71 a month. That's a huge amount. So, and again, it's based on a $600,000 loan amount. Obviously, I'm just using a higher amount as the example, but that's the first year, and then the second year is the $390.15, and then the total altogether is the $13,822. So that's a big chunk of change.
It is,
so that they can use to do other improvements on the house, or make extra payments on their mortgage if they want to.
Yeah, to build that equity up. That way, when they decide to refinance, they are very comfortable with that.
Yes, which you can do. But yeah, that's big. Putting, maybe you keep making what the actual payment is at the 6.75 interest rate versus the 4.75, and you just put that extra down each month as just to put in that equity. But if you don't, it frees up that money for you. So when you buy a house, you are going to make changes. You're going to make that house yours. So I know we did. Most people do. Move into the house, just little changes. So, but yeah, the savings is a big plus.
Yeah. You can put towards the house. You can put it towards the savings account. You can invest, and then it just gives you that freedom and a little more comfortable moving into when the race, waiting for the race to come down, right? So it makes it a little bit more easier there coming into it. So for the people that are out there kind of like in limbo, not sure if this is the right time to buy, what are like 3 things that I would say that you could change their mind now that are beneficial to buyers as of today's market?
So I would say today's a great time to buy. So the one big thing is houses are staying on the market more. And you are seeing, so that's one thing,
which means what? It means like better terms, better ways to negotiate, because there's not as much competition now.
Yep.
So
that's what I was going to say. Less competition. The other thing too, seller assist, sellers are with the market calming down a little bit, you're getting some seller assist. Because with the houses staying on the market longer, some sellers they're ready to move too. So they're looking to give a little with getting the seller assist, which also is big with the buy down. And that's whether they come down in price or stay in price, it's the sellers are willing to help out with selling their house. And I would say the third thing is, I would say now is a good time to buy, because especially with the buy down, you're most likely going to refinance when that refi boom happens.
I think that's a big reminder for people. It's just really like, okay, now is why we say it's the right time, and other people are saying don't buy now, but that's not right, because there's more houses sitting in the market. You have more options. You come in, if you are able to qualify for that house at the current rates, that's all that matters, right? And then if it makes sense to you financially monthly, and you are able to deal with that for a couple of years, then that makes sense. And then on top of that, the better terms, the seller's assistance, you can get inspections done now. It was kind of crazy back then, 2 years ago, that people were just buying houses and having to waive everything they could possibly waive. No inspection, no appraisal, paying overprice. And now it's finally getting back to the norm where you can negotiate the price. You can get actually under asking. You can get seller's assistance. You can do your inspections. You can ask for repairs, which is something that we didn't see for a long time. So that's why this is
important.
Yes. And then
you don't want to move into a house and then have things break down, and then you didn't know about it before you moved in because you didn't have an inspection. So even though everybody was waiving them, almost everybody, I would say inspections are super important when you're moving into a brand new house, especially if it's an older home and the people have been living in it longer. But yes, I would say that's definitely, with the market, you don't have people coming in too much over. Not saying that's gone away completely, because it has not.
It is not. Yeah, we do have pockets of heated markets that, I'm going to be honest, they're still flying. They're still competitive. The houses are just coming and going. So don't think that's completely gone. I don't think certain markets will ever be buyers markets, regardless of what's going on in the market, because they're so heated and they're so looked for buyers in general. But overall, national average is that we're switching into that buyer's market, especially with the end of the year coming. Not many people want to buy over the holidays. So if you are a qualified buyer that is comfortable with the rates that we have now, right? Because that's the key word. if you are comfortable making those payments for 2, even maybe 3 years, because again, we don't have a crystal ball. We keep saying refinance, but we don't know how long that's going to be, right? So you got to be comfortable with your payments. But as soon as that's the case, just remember you're marrying the house and you're dating the rate.
Correct.
So we just don't know how long you're going to be dating the rate. That's the only, question mark. But just keep that in mind. As soon as it makes sense to buy now to you, this is the better time to buy because no competition, better terms. So just everybody out there in limbo, not sure if you should buy or not. There are so many different alternatives now. The 2-in-1 Buydown is just one of them that we wanted to talk about today. But there's so many different things out there, including grants. Maybe next time we can kind of go into all the options available within this area, so Kelly can kind of bring that out to you guys. But there's so much that you can kind of like harvest now as a buyer and get the better deal for yourself as soon as you're comfortable with those monthly payments with the current interest rates. That's really the key for everything.
And back to what you were saying with the holidays, yes, if you're on the fence, you can get pre-approved. Like now would be the time. Your pre-approval is good for 90 days. If you get pre-approved in the end of November, December, when that spring market comes out, it's very most likely there's going to be more people putting their homes on the market. So you would probably see those numbers that Nini went over go up with homes being on the market for buyers. So now is the time to get a pre-approval, whether it's for the Buydown or just for any of the other products that we offer. But now's the time because it's good for, and I will let you know how long it's good for. You'll know that date, that drop dead date when it expires. But that just means we re-pull credit and we look at things. But 90 days, that's December, January, February.
Which is the best time for new buyers. Because when it comes February, March, then we're getting into a surge of buyers coming back into the market because tax season, right? Everybody's getting their tax returns. So you definitely see a natural rise year over year, no matter what. You see a rise of buyers into that period of time. So if you want to avoid that, because again, that means more competition to you as a buyer. So if you can buy before that surge comes, that's the better time to do it. It's over the holidays. I know it's stressful to do something maybe over the holidays, but you can start looking in December, maybe get on the contract in January, and then you get yourself a better deal instead of waiting into March when the sun is out.
Right.
And everybody's out too. It's not just you. So if you are able to buy now, I would say, is it smart to do so? It's just a smart move instead of waiting, to see what happens because everybody's doing that. And then you're going to be competing with everybody,
Yep.
So
I agree. December is definitely the time to get pre-approved. If you can get into a home January, February, even though it'll be cold in winter. I mean, hopefully it's not a bad winter, but
I know. Yeah. Well, I already got a day of snow in November. I was like, what's going on?
I know. It went from warm to cold, and it's cold.
It's cold now. Yeah, it was officially cold. I think we're probably into just winter time officially.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good time. So, and then if anybody is like wanting to maybe learn more about what's available, and maybe your specific situation, if you want to chat about it to see what you can get, what kind of programs are available to you, what kind of grants may be an option for you, just reach out to me and Callie. We'll be happy to go over your situation. Callie can really help you on the financing side. And once you get to, ready to go, I can help you find that home. So we're here to help you guys move forward if you have questions. So this is just like a good start for us. We want to share as much information and good content for you as possible. And if you have any additional questions, you can always reach out to us on the side. You have my information and her information going here at the bottom. So, just feel free to reach out at any time. We'll be happy to answer any questions.
Yep. Everybody's situation is different. So it definitely makes sense to give us both a call with any questions. When it comes to the financing side, like I said, we have lots of options and, I may be able to meet something that meets your criteria. So it just makes sense to talk about it just to figure it out.
Yeah, and also to go over some like myths, right? Especially with military people, they think they have to work with a lender that is like Veterans United or maybe something related to military. But to please know that no, that's not true. And
Right.
unfortunately, majority of times they are more expensive for the buyer
Mhm.
overall, especially their fees are pretty steep. So Kelly can help you with military loans as well. Just so you guys
Absolutely.
know, you do not have to work with a specific realtor either, because I've heard people thinking that. So any realtor, myself included, can help you with military loans. And I'm a military person myself. I'm a veteran, so I have a lot of experience with the VA loans as well. So we can help you together get that VA
Yep.
loan pre-approval. So just know that that's a big myth out there, and I just wanted to clarify it too.
It is a big myth. I talk
Yeah.
to a lot of realtors and people that they're like, oh, I went through, what was it, Veterans
Veterans
United?
United, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I said, well, we offer the VA loan. So you don't, that's like the first thing that pops up when you type in VA loan to
VA
Google
loans,
search,
yeah.
the Veterans United. So no, it does not have to be Veterans United. So we definitely do VA loans. I've done several for Nini and some other people that I know that are veterans. A couple friends of mine are veterans that I've done loans for. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's the myth of the day, I guess. Maybe we bring up a myth of the day every episode.
Right. Well, it was just Veterans Day, so that was a good myth to.
I know, like we
talk
just passed
about.
this month, so I wanted to bring that up because I think that's a big one. So yeah, we're
Yeah.
here to help all veterans alike and any other buyers. So yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time, Kelly. I think
Absolutely.
this is a good first start. I'm excited. So maybe next time we'll bring something a little different, maybe helping with the grant side. We can talk
Yeah,
more
the
about
grant
that.
side for first-time home buyers would be a good one to talk
Yeah.
about.
That would be great. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Great.
Guys, we look forward to seeing you next time as well. So
Yes.
hopefully next time we'll go actually live so we can be talking to you guys and answer your questions as they pop up. So stay
Great.
tuned.
Have a great weekend.
And have a good one.